Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing fantastic because finally the content drought is over, at least for today. Because the FTC versus Microsoft case is officially over and the FTC has failed to stop them. The merger is all but confirmed to be going through at this point. I mean, this shouldn't really come as a surprise to anybody except for maybe the PlayStation fanboys. Because the FTC had no argument. I think even at one point they had to like swap out their lawyers or something like that. And I don't know, man, Microsoft just got some really good lawyers, I guess, and the judge was not having any of the FTC's arguments. So today we're going to be taking a look at the aftermath of everything that happened, because we have quite a bit to talk about, most of it pertaining to Twitter. Now, normally I don't do Twitter content, I stick to YouTube, but with everything that happened, I just could not pass up this opportunity. Now, don't worry, we will still be taking a look at some YouTube clips, mainly from MBG. I was going to try to cut up some stuff from JayTech stream and have it in this video as well, but as I was watching JayTech stream, I just realized that he is saying so much yet so little at the same time. So many words are coming out of his mouth, but none of them actually mean anything. But yeah, with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into this. And we're gonna start this off with the one that I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about, and that is SaltyGaming deleting his Twitter, which is especially hilarious because take a look at this screenshot. Hashtag blocked, hashtag Microsoft, hashtag FTC, hashtag ABK, and then an image saying, I used to pray for times like this. Now, obviously, this was tweeted back when the FTC sued to block. But this guy, being the absolute coward that he is, instead of actually just take the L and admit, oh, I was wrong, okay, it went through, cool, he deleted his entire Twitter account the very day this was announced. And I did see some comments on my community post about this saying, oh, well, what if it's a fake account or whatever? No, go to his YouTube channel and then go to his about section. He has this account linked in his about section. This is really him. This dude is like the most cowardly PlayStation fanboy out of all of them. I mean, they're all cowards, especially JayTech, but no, I think SaltyGaming takes the crown. And also, I tagged him in a community post yesterday, and surprise, surprise, he hasn't responded. The dude's probably gonna disappear for like a month until the acquisition actually goes through, and then he'll probably come back later and hope everybody forgot about him. But it's actually even more hilarious when you realize that his latest live stream that he did was literally titled that no matter what happens, whether Xbox gets Activision or not, it's over no matter what. I guess he meant it was over for him. But yeah, that was the SaltyGaming situation summed up, and my god, it was hilarious. But now let's move on to our favorite amazing friend, who said congrats to @Microsoft for their win. Hopefully hashtag Xbox will start getting some PS5 worthy games. Well, considering Activision doesn't make third-person narrative-driven movie games, if that's what we're deeming as PlayStation 5 worthy, then no, I don't think that's gonna happen. It's hilarious. Lucas is always like, oh, what exclusives does Xbox have? What do they have to rival a game like Uncharted 4? And the answer is nothing, because Xbox and PlayStation don't make the same kinds of games. PlayStation makes movie narrative-driven games, and Xbox makes way more first-person shooters and action games. I think Xbox tried to do the narrative thing once with Quantum Break in 2016, and that was a disaster for them. But I don't even know why you're acting like, oh, Microsoft needs to put out a PS5 worthy game. No matter how good of a game they put out, you will always dunk on it and nitpick every little thing about it. There is quite literally no satisfying you, Lucas. And why? Because you have brand loyalty. But now that we're done with Lucas, let's go ahead and move on to JayTech. Now, like I said, I didn't get any clips from his stream or anything because it was so boring, but I do have a screenshot of a tweet from him. And this is just really meant to show off his hypocrisy, because as you can see in this screenshot here, he says thank you PS Plus, and then he shows off a bunch of Call of Duty games and a Crash game, obviously all Activision. But Jay, I thought you were supposed to buy the games to support the developers. What happened? Now all of a sudden you're taking advantage of subscription services to not have to pay full price for a game? How could you do this, man? Now all those devs and their families are gonna starve. God, it's just so hypocritical. This guy keeps going on about how, oh, Xbox fans don't buy games. You gotta buy the best edition of the game to support the developers. But then he gets all these Activision games from PS Plus. So yeah, keep talking that crap, Jay, but just be able to keep that same energy. Oh, and really quickly before we move on to J-Dub, just to show how much Xbox lives in JayTech's head rent-free, he was playing Black Ops Cold War, and within an hour he put up 2 different tweets. One of a screenshot of some garbage cans in Cold War, and another of a screenshot of a toilet, and saying, oh, look, I found Xbox in Cold War. How rent-free does this company live in your head? You're playing a shooter game, and instead of focusing on shooting the enemies and progressing the story or whatever, you're stopping to take screenshots of toilets and trash cans, and then saying, haha, look, it's Xbox. I mean, I guess to be fair, if Jay doesn't have a brain occupying the space in his head, then Xbox probably has plenty of room to move in. But good lord, dude. You legitimately need help. You are obsessed. But yeah, moving on from JayTech, now we're gonna talk about JDub. Now, I actually used to think these two were the same person. I thought JDub was JayTech's Twitter account, but I learned very quickly that that was not the case. But either way, JDub tweeted this out yesterday. Me showing up to @Gazin the sauce live from London the moment the judge denies the ABK deal. Hashtag Xbox, hashtag stop the steal, hashtag kill the deal. And, well, JDub,
You failed!
yeah, you were kind of wrong on that one, my guy. But I'm just genuinely curious, putting aside the whole, oh, they're fanboys thing, like, how did people like JDub and King Thrash unironically watch the court proceedings and then say, oh yeah, Microsoft is screwed, the FTC has got them? Like, Thrash, if you're watching this video for whatever reason, please let me know how you could have possibly watched the court case and then said, oh yeah, the FTC is gonna win this easy. Speaking of King Thrash, I unfortunately won't be talking about him in this video because I haven't seen anything from him. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the last and what I like to call the main attraction, MBG. Because first we're gonna read this tweet that he made and then we're gonna take a look at his live stream. Microsoft wins, not by producing great industry-defining games from their own studios, but by buying the publishers who have already done so. Yes, I sure do love those industry-defining games that Sony definitely made and they didn't have a third-party company do it and then lock it down to their platform. I sure do love those games that Sony made, like Spider-Man and Final Fantasy, as well as Stellar Blade. Definitely games that Sony made themselves. Oh, we can't forget about Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Now, look, I understand, obviously Sony has made their own games. Spider-Man 2 will be Sony's own game. But if he's gonna claim that Microsoft did nothing, they have no original ideas, they didn't make anything themselves, I'm just gonna use the same logic against him. Both companies have either been paying for exclusivity or buying other companies to make them their own, and then they inherit all the properties that those companies have. Neither company is innocent of this. Both Sony and Microsoft have done it. The difference is Microsoft can do it more and on a larger scale because they have a much bigger wallet to work with. A little fun fact, Sony has almost purchased as many studios as Microsoft has. I think Microsoft has purchased like 18 and Sony's purchased like 16 or something like that. And then obviously once the Activision deal goes through, Microsoft will have way more studios. But either way, point is both companies buy studios. The companies get the games that the studios had, and then in the future, the companies create new games with the studios. An example is Rare with Sea of Thieves, or Naughty Dog with The Last of Us. And plus, ignoring all that, why does it even matter how Microsoft gets great games? As long as it's not anti-consumer, like just locking it down to their platform, and it's still completely pro-consumer, like them buying Activision but then keeping all the Call of Duty games on PlayStation and such, why does it matter? Why do you care? The narrative always changes with these guys. First it's, oh, Microsoft has to make great games, they have nothing. Then Microsoft acquires some studios to get some great games and make some more, and then they're like, no, you can't do that, they have to make it with what they already have. And now really quickly before we end this video, we're gonna take a look at a clip from MBG's live stream where he says he's going to delete his Twitter because people keep making videos on him. And no, I'm not joking. Let's take a look.
You said, yeah, I see the people you're mentioning that are gonna be featuring that tweet in their upcoming Salt videos or whatever. Yeah, dude, I think the shit's just so funny, man. If you know why I'm gonna end up deleting my Twitter, no joke though, like, and this is what it comes down to. It's not difficult for me to stay away from Twitter. It's not, dude. There are just times where I go weeks at a time without using Twitter at all. Again, to me, it's just a joke. The reason I'm going to end up deleting it, though, is the fact that I know there are people who are so devoid of any original thoughts. They actually go to they follow me on Twitter and wait for me to tweet shit so they can use it as content in their videos. And to me, that's just like, I can't support that shit, man.
It doesn't matter if you delete your Twitter. As long as you exist on YouTube and continue to fanboy for PlayStation, we will always make content about you. Although I can't really deny being devoid of any original thoughts. I mean, look at me. I'm a clone of Griffin Gaming, who was a clone of Leafy. I take some editing inspiration from Fratanga. Some, very little. I'm nowhere near as talented as he is. So yeah, I will not deny I am completely devoid of creativity. Me making my channel was like Riot making Valorant. Just take CSGO and Overwatch and smash them together, and then boom, billion-dollar game right there. But again, like I said, dude, you deleting your Twitter isn't gonna solve anything because your YouTube channel still exists. Although I guess you deleting your Twitter makes it harder for you to act like a complete idiot with tweets like the one I read earlier. But then again, you could just post on the YouTube community tab, so I don't know, man. Do what you want, delete your Twitter, whatever, but it's not gonna solve anything. It's like Dream putting his mask back on. It accomplished absolutely nothing. But yeah, guys, with that being said, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for today. I apologize for not including Dreamcast Guy, but he's exactly like JayTech, where he says so much yet so little at the same time that I just can't add anything to it. So yeah, I guess with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.